The line between hero and executioner has finally blurred. Mark Grayson just murdered a human being. It was not an accident. It was a choice. As the blood dries and the Sequid threat lingers, Earth is left staring at a version of Invincible that no longer recognizes the rules of engagement. Cecil Stedman is terrified. The Guardians of the Globe are divided. And while the world watches the skies for the next alien invasion, the real danger might be sitting right in Mark's kitchen. How much trauma can one teenager take before he becomes the very thing he fought to destroy? By the end of this episode, the answer changes everything for the Grayson family. Disclaimer: before we begin, this breakdown contains major spoilers for Invincible Season 4, Episode 3, including the massive cliffhanger ending. Welcome to Review. Today, we are diving deep into the fallout of Invincible Season 4, Episode 3, titled, I Gotta Get Some Air. This isn't just another recap. This episode marks a fundamental shift in the series' DNA. We are seeing the psychological decomposition of Mark Grayson in real time. From the return of high-stakes criminal underworld politics with Titan to a massive Flaxan invasion that leaves the team shattered, the stakes have never been higher. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why the final 5 seconds of this episode will dictate the entire future of the Marvel-adjacent universe of Invincible. The psychological toll on Mark Grayson. The episode opens with the heavy silence of the aftermath. Mark Grayson is not okay. After killing a human host possessed by a Sequid, the internal walls are starting to crumble. We see Mark having a full-blown panic attack in his kitchen, reliving the moment of violence. He reaches out to Adam Eve, but the silence on the other end of the line only heightens his isolation. Cecil Stedman, played with chilling pragmatism by Walton Goggins, is officially worried. Cecil and Donald discuss the shift in Invincible. While villains like Angstrom and Conquest did not die, Mark is now delivering potential kill shots. This is a version of Mark that Cecil is not sure he can control. The trauma has reached a breaking point, and the hero of Earth is becoming a wild card. Titan and the return of Mr. Liu. While Mark spirals, the criminal underworld of the Invincible universe is heating up. Titan arrives at a bar to meet with Machine Head, also referred to as Metal Head in this briefing, to discuss a looming threat. It turns out that Mr. Liu survived the events of last season, and he is coming for both of them. Machine Head offers Titan a seat at the table with the order for protection, but Titan refuses. He wants to stay out of that life for the sake of his family. However, a silent assassin quickly dispatches Titan's security detail during a park stroll. Thanks to Isotope teleporting his family away, Titan manages to kill the assassin, but the message is clear. He cannot hide from Mr. Liu. Tension within the Guardians of the Globe. Inside the Guardians of the Globe headquarters, the debate over Mark's actions is heating up. Rex Splode believes the team could have won without killing the host, while Bulletproof defends Mark, arguing he did the right thing. This internal friction is worsened by Britt, who is losing patience with the team's lack of discipline. Britt confronts Rex about going into the sewers alone, issuing a final warning. One more act of disobedience, and Rex is off the team. The hierarchy is shaking, and the trust that holds the Guardians together is at an all-time low. The Sequid horror returns. Just as the team thinks the Sequid threat is handled, horror strikes in the most personal way. While in the shower, Rex Splode starts to choke and vomits up another Sequid. The visual is visceral and terrifying. As he falls, the creature prepares to strike, only for Monster Girl to step in and kill it at the last second. This moment is a wake-up call for Rex. He realizes that they are not actually dealing with the threats effectively. This near-death experience forces Rex to reconsider his stance on Mark's lethal methods. If the monsters are inside their own walls, is a no-kill rule even sustainable? If this kind of Invincible breakdown is what you come here for, subscribing takes 2 seconds, and it means a lot. We cover every episode with this level of detail, so join the community and stay updated. A new life for Debbie and Oliver. Amidst the superhero chaos, the Grayson household is trying to find a new normal. Paul approaches Debbie Grayson with a proposal to move into a new house together, signaling a potential new chapter for her. However, The house she is in is filled with memories. When Oliver walks in, Debbie notes that he will soon be as tall as Mark. Oliver is growing fast, both physically and emotionally. He is worried about his older brother, but Debbie remains the anchor. She believes that they can support Mark through his pain, unaware of how deep that pain actually goes. The confrontation with Cecil Stedman. Donald eventually brings Mark to see Cecil. The conversation is tense. Cecil admits he is scared for Mark, not because of the violence itself, but because of what it does to the boy behind the mask. Cecil makes a startling request. He wants to be the one to decide who dies. He wants to take that burden off Mark's shoulders so Invincible can remain a hero. Sinclair enters the room to apologize for his past actions against Mark's friends, but Mark has no interest in forgiveness. He flies away, leaving Cecil and Donald to discuss the looming threat of Conquest. A secret Cecil is still keeping from Mark. Invincible Incorporated and Oliver's heroism. Mark returns home to find Adam Eve in tears. She is losing her powers. Every time she tries to create something, it melts away. She can no longer even trust herself to fly. When a call comes in for Invincible Incorporated, Mark feels he isn't up to the task. Surprisingly, Oliver volunteers. Titan and Isotope are tracking Mr. Liu, and they need muscle. While Titan is hesitant to involve a child, he has no choice. Oliver flies Titan into battle against Mr. Liu, who transforms into a massive dragon. This gives Oliver the motivation he needs to prove himself, eventually calling Adam Eve to bring Mark into the fray. The Flaxan invasion of Chicago. The action shifts to Chicago, where a full-scale alien invasion is underway. The Flaxans have returned, capturing citizens and taking prisoners. Robot and Cecil brief the Guardians of the Globe, and Mark joins the charge. Britt and Mark lead the assault while the rest of the team focuses on saving hostages. The scale of the invasion is massive. Robot and Monster Girl realize that the emitter stopping the Flaxan time dilation is on the enemy side of the portal. It is a suicide mission, but it is the only way to stop the clock. Stranded in another dimension. In a climactic sequence, Monster Girl and Robot run through the portal to destroy the emitter. Mark stays behind to fight off the Flaxan ships, providing air cover. However, a Flaxan lieutenant realizes the plan and jumps through the portal, blowing it up from the inside. The portal collapses, leaving Rex Splode and Monster Girl, as well as Robot, stranded in the Flaxan dimension. Because time moves differently there, even a short absence could mean decades of life passed for them. The Guardians have just lost two of their most powerful members, and Mark is left powerless to help them. Titan's fate and Eve's secret. Following the battle, Mark and Oliver crush Mr. Liu's dragon form. Mark, still fueled by his inner rage, turns on Titan, yelling at him for putting Oliver in danger. It is Oliver who has to snap Mark out of it, showing a maturity that Mark is currently lacking. Ultimately, Titan realizes he cannot fight the Order alone and joins them, only to find that Mr. Liu has also rejoined. The status quo of the underworld is restored, but with a more dangerous edge. Back at home, Debbie treats Oliver's wounds, and Mark and Eve contemplate their next move. Invincible Season 4, Episode 3 delivers on every level, from the brutal psychological breakdown of Mark Grayson to the shocking loss of team members in the Flaxan dimension. But the real story is the final reveal. That night, Mark wakes up in a panic and finds Adam Eve in the bathroom. She is staring at a positive pregnancy test. This changes everything. Eve's power loss is now explained by her pregnancy, and with a war on the horizon, Mark has a whole new reason to be afraid of his own violence. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Mark Grayson is still a hero after what he did to the Sequid host? Short, warm, and confident. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. More Invincible breakdowns are coming. Stay tuned.